Okay, friends, so this is the last video of this section, the beginning part of the Brahma-samhita, the setup and the story of Brahma, how he got to the point where he was enlivened and enlightened by spiritual understanding and bhakti and sitting ready to create the universe, and why and how he's speaking these beautiful hymns. After this video, we'll be doing the hymns of Brahma and studying those. And it's been a great journey. I have to say, I've learned so much to get to this point. And thank you for being with me. And I really look forward to getting into the whole next section because it's just so beautiful. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, friends. So we have 6 verses before Brahma starts speaking the hymns of the Brahma-samhita, the heart of the whole book. So let's see if we can get to those quickly. This verse 523, says, Sanjato Bhagavat Chaktya. And this is a sandhi. This has been changed to sound nicely. And the actual word is Bhagavat Shaktya, which means upon emerging from the lotus, like enthused by the Shakti, the energy of the divine, Tat Kalam Kila Kodita. At that time he was guided. So he was guided, Brahma, emerging from the lotus from within by the divine energy. Shishrikshayam Matim Chakre. He turned his attention to the task. And what is that task? Creation. Purva samskara samskritaha. Samskara means a impression. And so his purpose was from previous impressions from a previous lives. And when he looked around, Dadarsha, so like darsha, like darshana, seen, kevalam, only, dvantam, darkness. And the translation by Bhaktisiddhanda is, on coming out of the lotus, Brahma, being guided by the divine potency, turned his mind to the act of creation under the impulse of previous impressions. But he could see nothing but darkness in every direction. So he was motivated to create. It's his dharma at this point. And remember, everything is basically set up. All the materials are set up for him. He just now has to actually put together. He's like the project manager, the universe, the solar systems and the suns and the planets, and then all the stuff like philosophy and logic and all the things that make it so a human and animals and everything can work within the environment. So here's, in this purport, it says, Brahma's impulse for creation arises solely from his previous impressions. All jivas get their nature conformably to their impressions of previous births, and accordingly, their activity can have a beginning. It is called the unseen, or the result of one's previous deeds. His natural impulse is formed according to the nature of the deeds done by him in his previous kalpa, or lives. Some of the eligible jivas also attain to the office of Brahma in this way. And so that's basically how Brahma has gotten to this point, is that a jiva who has the highest position in the universe, who has the impression to serve Krishna and create, and so many other things, has gotten this body. Brahma is a jiva, again. Brahma is not like Shiva or Vishnu. He is like you and I. But sometimes there is no one to fit in Brahma's shoes. No soul ready. It's a high position. So Krishna takes the position himself. And there's arguments of whether a soul that comes into the material world becomes Brahma, or if a soul attains to the level of Brahma through good, pious, and spiritual practices. And that's an argument that can be had at another time. Okay, friends, on to verse 24. And the translation is, then, so remember Brahma's there, he's ready to create, he only sees darkness. Next step. Then the goddess of learning Saraswati, the divine consort of the Supreme Lord, said thus to Brahma, who saw nothing but gloom in all directions. O Brahma, this mantra, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavalabhaya Swaha, will assuredly fulfill your heart's desire. How beautiful. Another purport. The mantra, consisting of the 18 divine letters prefixed by the Kama Bij, is alone super excellent. It has a twofold aspect. One aspect is that it tends to make the pure soul run after all attractive Sri Krishna, the Lord of Gokula and the divine milkmaids, or the gopis. This is the acme of the spiritual tendency of jivas. When the devotee is freed from all sorts of mundane desires and willing to serve the Lord, he attains the fruition of his heart's desire, the love of Krishna. But in the case of the devotee who is not of unmixed aptitude, which in this case would be Brahma, because he's wishing to desire, but he's wishing to create, but he has the desire, but he doesn't know how. This super excellent mantra fulfills his heart's desire also. The transcendental Kama Bij, which is this Klim, that's the Kama Bij. Like Om is a Bij. Om doesn't actually mean anything. It's a sound representation of the impersonal Brahman. Kama Bij, or Klim, is the sound representation of Krishna's love pastimes. The Kama Bij is inherent in the divine Logos located in Goloka. Remember, Goloka is built on this mantra, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavalabhaya Swaha. It's the structure of it. And so by saying it, you are invoking Krishna's pastimes and Goloka. And the Kama Bij, pervertedly reflected in the worldly affairs, satisfies all sorts of desires of this mundane world. So that's pretty cool. So the Kama Bij in the spiritual world satisfies the desire to want to love Krishna. In the material world, it just satisfies material desires. Verse 25 is pretty straightforward. It's only one line. O Brahma, do thou practice spiritual association by means of this mantra. Then all your desires will be fulfilled. Bhaktisiddhanda writes, its purport is clear. Hare Krishna. Okay, friends, we're on verse 26. It's pretty general and also a bit detailed, so we're going to just read it from the study guide. So remember, Brahma sees darkness all around, and he gets from Saraswati the mantra, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavalabhaya Swaha. Then Brahma engaged in profound spiritual austerity, seeking to please Govinda, the ruler of Svetadweep, Krishna, who is beyond all, residing in Goloka. Brahma meditated in this way. In the spiritual realm of Goloka, there is a brilliant lotus with 1,000 petals, each glowing with countless fine threads of light. At the heart of the lotus, there is a majestic throne where Sri Krishna sits, radiant and embodying eternal joy. He plays a beautiful tune on his flute with his lotus mouth, filling the air with divine music. The devoted gopis, or the milkmaids, each with their unique forms and extensions, worship him, as does his external energy that encompasses all earthly traits, although it remains outside this divine setting. So let's keep that into our attention, that the external energy also is worshiping Krishna, but from afar. Okay. Explanation, purport. While the focus of meditation is entirely spiritual, Maya Krishna's non-spiritual energy who controls worldly hankering and embodies the elements of goodness, passion, and ignorance, manifesting as Durga and other non-spiritual forces. She, Maya Devi, also meditates on the Supreme Lord Krishna. So people worship Durga, but Durga worships Krishna. As long as there's even a hint of worldly desire in someone's heart, they worship Maya Devi or Durga. Yet that worship is not spiritual. And that's an interesting statement. It means that as somebody is hankering for things and trying to make it in this world, and they're going here and they're going there and they're desiring and they're making goal lists and this and that, they're indirectly worshiping Durga as the mother of the material energy, because they're wishing for material energy. And then there's also those who directly worship Durga for material things. However, the true fulfillment of one's desires comes from worshiping what Maya Devi herself worships, Krishna, not from worshiping Maya Devi. Should be pretty clear. This aligns with the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.3.10, Akama sarvakama mokshakama udaradi trivena bhakti yogena ye jeta purusham param. A person who has broader intelligence, whether he or she be full of all material desire, without any material desire, or desiring liberation, mokshakama, must by all means worship the Supreme Whole, the personality of Godhead. The meaning of this verse is that even though other gods, being manifestations of the Supreme Lord, can grant specific blessings, a wise person should worship the all-powerful Supreme Lord, who bestows all good things. They should do so with pure devotion, without focusing on worldly gift-giving deities. Therefore, Brahma meditated on Krishna in Goloka, who is worshipped from a distance by Maya Devi. So he could have worshipped Maya Devi. She's the one that has all the stuff, and he needs to create, and he wishes to create, but he worships Krishna instead, because that's who she also worships. True devotion is a pure spiritual activity, free from all worldly desire. The devotion of beings like Brahma isn't pure, but even in such devotion, there is a stage of unfiltered preference. This stage, even when devotion is used to achieve selfish desires, has been thoroughly explained in the concluding verses of this work. It represents an accessible path of divine service for fallen souls who haven't yet achieved self-realization. Pretty cool. Pretty self-evident. Okay, so here we are, verse 27. So Brahma, he is chanting Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavallabhaya Swaha, and he is meditating on Krishna on a beautiful throne in the center of Goloka, and Krishna's playing his flute, and beautiful music is coming from the flute. And now this verse 27 says, Then Gayatri, the mother of the Vedas, born from the flute song of Krishna, entered the lotus-like mouth of the self-manifested Brahma through his ears. The lotus-born Brahma, having received the Gayatri mantra, attained the status of twice-born, having been initiated by the original Guru himself, Krishna, the Supreme Godhead. And so twice-born is a ritualistic practice where a guru, a teacher, gives one initiation. They are born again. They're not, first birth is through the mother, second birth is through either the father or the guru, where one gets second initiated or second birth. And in that, the Gayatri, sometimes you see this thread here on people. This means that one has taken the second initiation, and the Gayatri mantras that we chant in our lineage coming through Brahma, and I'm not going to get into the full detail of it. The first Gayatri, Om Bhurbhava Swatat Savator Vranyam Bhargavasha Dihimihi Diho Yano Pachodiyat. We chant it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. We chant other mantras, and then at the end, we also chant Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavallabhaya Swaha 10 times. And we chant this mantra, which is received by Gayatri to Brahma. And this was the mantra that he was given when he was initiated. So I was given 7 mantras at Gayatri initiation, or second initiation. And so let's keep reading. Krishna's flute sound is full of divine joy, and it carries the essence of all Vedic wisdom. The Gayatri mantra is Vedic rhythm and contains meditation and prayer. Among all the Gayatri mantras, the Kama Gayatri is the highest because it captures perfectly Krishna's sportive activities, which are not found in any other Gayatri mantra. The Kama Gayatri, which follows the 18-lettered mantra, goes as follows. Follows means when we chant our Gayatri mantras, we chant Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavallabhaya Swaha 10 times. And then follows means the next mantra that we chant 10 times is Klim Kamadevaya Vihidmehe Pushpa Banaya Dhimihi Tanno Nanga Prachodayat. So sweet, so beautiful. So blessed to have such a thing. It encourages deep perfection, meditation on Krishna's transcendental pastimes as Sri Gopi Jana Vallabhaya, and indicates that it's a prayer for attaining the divine God of love. This is the ultimate way to experience divine love, rasa, in the spiritual world. And so I would recommend you looking this up on Google if you want to get a definition. Every single one of these words means something, and it's all very profound. Much more than I want to get into here. When Brahma heard this Gayatri, he was spiritually reborn and began to chant it himself. Anyone who genuinely receives the Gayatri is also spiritually reborn. This spiritual rebirth transcends the conventional idea of rebirth one might earn through their social status or lineage in this physical world, like maybe getting a degree in something is kind of like a rebirth, because before it you were one person and after it you're now like Dr. Stock or whatever. The spiritual initiation that leads to this transcendental birth is the highest glory because it enables a soul to reach the transcendental realm. How cool. How amazing. Wow, exciting. So we only have one more verse and purport before we get to the hymns of Brahma. So I'm just going to go through it right now. And that would be verse 28. Awakened by the memory of the Gayatri, which embodies the 3 Vedas, Brahma came to understand the ocean of truth. Following this revelation, he worshipped Keshava Krishna with this hymn, who is the essence of all Vedas. So, in recap, Brahma doesn't see anything, he wants to create. Saraswati says to him, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Janavallabhaya Swaha. And he uses that mantra to meditate on Krishna, who's sitting on a throne, playing a beautiful flute. And through the goddess Gayatri, he hears Krishna's flute playing. And that flute playing is Klim Kamadevaya Vihidmehe Pushpa Banaya Dhimihi Tanno Nanga Prachodayat. And it enters his ears. He becomes reborn and awakened and has divine spiritual knowledge, an ocean of Vedic of truth. And then with that truth, he speaks the hymns of the Brahma-samhita, which are the next hymns, the next section. Let me read this purport. Brahma found himself contemplating. With the memory of the Kama Gayatri, I sense that I am Krishna's eternal servant. Even though other mysteries surround the condition of being Krishna's servant weren't revealed to him, Brahma, through his introspective awareness, became profoundly familiar with the vast ocean of truth. All the truths of the Vedas were revealed to him, and using these essential Vedic principles, he offered this hymn to the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught this hymn to his favorite disciples because it encapsulates all the transcendental truths regarding Vaishnava philosophy. Readers are requested to study and try to enter into the spirit of this hymn with great care and attention as a regular daily function. Wow, we're here. So we've entered into the clearing. We've had the whole backstory of Brahma, and now the hymns of Brahma. Chintamani prakara sadma sukalpa vriksha laksha vriteshu sodabira bipalayantam lakshmi sahasra satasam brahma sevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. And we'll start all that in our next video. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you for this great journey. I'm so blessed and happy to be here. Hare Krishna.